Kandya then goes on to describe about the splendors of Sthanutirtha. Surya was Manu's father. Vana was Manu's grandson. He was wicked and always criticized the Vedas. Being displeased by his irreligious son, Vanas further left for the forest to do penance where he attained salvation. In course of time, Vana's tyranny spread across the length and breadth of the earth. In a very short time, he became the lord of whole earth. He had strictly warned his subjects against worshipping any other deity except him. Sages became furious by his irreligious stricture and tried to change his mind, but their efforts went in vain. Ultimately, Vana was killed by the angry sages. After his death, the sages churned his left hand, which resulted in the manifestation of a dwarf. The sages considered him to be unfit to become a ruler and churned Vana's right hand for the second time. This time, a divine entity manifested, who had all the auspicious signs on his body. The deities crowned this divine entity as the king and named him Prithu. Prithu proved to be a just king and his subjects were satisfied by his rule. One day, sage Narada arrived at Prithu's court. Wanting to grab the opportunity, he asked Narada how his father could be liberated from his sins. Narada told him that his father was presently living among the Mletshas and was suffering from diseases like consumption and leprosy. He would be cured of his diseases if he is taken to Sthanutirtha and made to take a dip in the holy Sannyasarova, said Narada. He went to the site and found his father living among the Mletshas. After taking the Mletshas' permission, he brought his father to Sthanutirtha. His effort of helping his father to take a bath was resisted by the deity, Vayu, who said, the waters of Sannyasarova would get polluted if such a lowly sinner took a bath in it. First of all, you must go on a pilgrimage and visit all the sacred places to make your father pure. Only then he will be entitled to take bath here. Prithu, accompanied by his father, went on a pilgrimage and visited all the sacred places. When both of them returned to Sthanutirtha, his father had become pure by this time. Vana took his bath and became liberated from his sins. He worshipped Lord Sthanu and eulogized him with total devotion. Vana attains heaven. Sanat Kumar says, Lord Shiva became pleased by his devotion and blessed Vana that he would manifest from his body as Andak in his next birth. Due to the sins acquired by criticizing the Vedas, he would be born in the family of the notorious demon Hiranyaksha. Lord Shiva then asked Vana to demand any boon. Vana requested Lord Shiva to bless his attendant who had transformed into a dog due to his sin acquired by eating divine food. Lord Shiva blessed the attendant, as a result of which, he regained his original form. Right then, Prithu arrived there. After seeing him, Vana expressed his gratitude for his tremendous effort without which, he would not have been liberated from his sins. After blessing Prithu, Vana departed for heaven. In his father's absence, Prithu continued to rule justly. He performed many religious activities and gave unlimited donations to the Brahmins. After ruling for a long period, he went to Kurukshetra where he did a severe penance and attained the supreme abode after his death. The origin of Brahmsh was 4 heads. After creating all the movable and immovable living things, Lord Brahma created a beautiful lady. He was so infatuated by her beauty that he expressed his desire to procreate with her help. As a result of this grave sin committed by Lord Brahma, one of his 4 heads got detached and fell on the ground. He carried his severed head and went to Sannyasarova to atone for his sins. After reaching that site, he established a 4-headed Shivlinga and worshipped it daily. Pleased by his devotion, Lord Shiva appeared before him. He blessed Lord Brahma and said, You have become free from the sin due to the virtue attained by establishing a four-headed Shivlinga at this sacred place." After blessing him, Lord Shiva disappeared. After getting liberated from his sin, Lord Brahma worshipped the idol of four-headed Mahadeva and established another Shivlinga in the middle of a nearby lake. He also created a reservoir, which is named after him, Brahmasa. He established two other Shivlingas, one towards the east of his hermitage and another at the bank of river Saraswati. A devotee who goes on a pilgrimage to these sacred places created by Lord Brahma becomes liberated from all his sins and attains salvation. Prithudaktirtha. Describing the majesty of Prithudaktirtha, Mahadeva told the deities, "All of you must pay a visit to this sacrosanct place of pilgrimage situated near Sanyatya reservoir. The day on which moon, sun and Jupiter unitedly come under Mrigashira Nakshatra is called Akshatritiya. You must go to that sacred place and perform shraddha of your ancestors." All the deities led by Indra went to Kurukshetra where Prithudak was situated. Brihaspati was also present with them. After taking their bath, the deities requested Brihaspati, Jupiter, to enter into the Mrigashira Nakshatra as directed by Mahadeva. Brihaspati agreed to do that and entered into the Mrigashira Nakshatra along with the sun and the moon on Akshatritiya. All the deities then worshipped their dead ancestors by offering pine comprising of sesame seeds and honey. The ancestors were pleased and presented manna to the deities. The deities in turn presented manna to Himalaya. Himalaya was pleased to have Manna as his wife. In course of time, 3 daughters were born to them. Birth of Uma and her marriage to Shiva. Manna gives birth to Uma. Manna gave birth to 3 daughters and a son. The eldest daughter, Rajini, was red-complexioned and had red eyes. Kutla was fair-complexioned and had beautiful eyes like that of lotus petals. The youngest daughter, Kali, was dark-complexioned and had beautiful eyes like the petals of blue lotus. Manna also had a son named Sunam. When all 3 of them were of 6 years, they started to do penance. The deities saw these beautiful girls and were enchanted by their beauty. Aditya and the Vasuganas took Kutla to Brahma Loka and asked Lord Brahma, "O Lord, will this girl give birth to a son capable of killing Mahishasura?" Lord Brahma told them that she was incapable of bearing the effulgence of Lord Shiva and hence she should be released. Kutla was dejected by Lord Brahma's rejection and challenged him that she would try every means so as to attain the capability of holding the effulgence of Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma became angry with her arrogant utterances and cursed her to become a river. In a very short period, the furious current of Kutla flooded the whole Brahmaloka, but Lord Brahma managed to control her current. In this way, Kutla remained in Brahmaloka in the form of a river. When the deities saw Rajini doing penance, they took her to Lord Brahma. Even she was cursed by Lord Brahma in the same manner as her sister had been cursed. Due to Lord Brahma's curse, she became Sandhya, evening, and started for the auspicious yoga of Kritika. After losing her 2 daughters, Manna tried to dissuade Kali from doing penance. But Kali was not to listen. Reacting to her mother's advices, Kali pronounced Uma and as a result she was named Uma by her mother. Uma commenced her severe penance to please Lord Shiva. When Lord Brahma came to know about this, he instructed the deities to bring her along to Brahmaloka, but the deities were unsuccessful in their attempt as Uma's radiance was unbearable for them. They returned to Brahmaloka and narrated the whole story to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma was convinced that Uma was worthy of being Shiva's consort. One day, Himalaya, Uma's father brought her back home. Once, Lord Shiva went to Himalaya mountain to do penance. When Himalaya came to know of his arrival, he was extremely happy. He made all necessary arrangements for Lord Shiva. One day, while Lord Shiva was engrossed in meditation, Uma arrived there. Lord Shiva was pleased to know that Sati had reincarnated as Uma. But his joy was momentary as he went back into deeper meditation. Uma paid her obeisance by touching Shiva's feet. Lord Shiva, wanting to test Uma's devotion, went into hiding. Uma sought her father's permission to do penance with the objective of having Shiva as her husband. Himalaya agreed and gave his permission. She started her penance after creating an earthen idol of Lord Shiva. She worshipped that idol with total devotion. Lord Shiva became pleased with her devotion and appeared before her in the guise of a mendicant. On being inquired by Uma, Lord Shiva told her that he was on his pilgrimage to Prithhudak. "I am used to all these austerities as I have been practicing it since my childhood. But why are you torturing yourself in such a tender age?" asked Lord Shiva. Lama Prabha, Uma's companion, was also present there. She told the mendicant about the objective with which Uma was doing her penance. "She wants to have Lord Shiva as her husband," said Lama Prabha. Hearing this, the mendicant laughed loudly and made fun of Shiva. He tried to dissuade Uma from marrying Lord Shiva. Uma became extremely angry and asked the mendicant to keep mum. But when the mendicant continued with his abuses, she got up and tried to move away from the side. Lord Shiva became pleased by her total devotion and appeared in his real form. He assured Uma to go back home and said, "I will send the sages to your house with a marriage proposal. The idol which you have been worshipping with such deep devotion would become famous as Bhadrashwar." Uma returned home and Shiva proceeded on his way to Prithhudak. Lord Shiva sends marriage proposal. After paying a visit to Prithhudak, Lord Shiva returned to his abode. At that time, he was living at Mandar mountain. After Lord Shiva's contemplation, the Saptarishis arrived. After the formal salutations, Lord Shiva told the sages that his wife, Sati, has reincarnated as Uma. "All of you must go to Himalaya and request him to marry his daughter to me," said Lord Shiva. The Saptarishis abided by his instructions. All of them went to Himalaya with Shiva's proposal. When Uma came to know about this, she was quite pleased but did not reveal her emotions. Himalaya was in a dilemma. He did not know whether to refuse or accept the marriage proposal. The Mayu mountain advised him to go ahead with the marriage as it would not be proper to refuse the Saptarishis. Vamana, Himalaya's wife, said, "O Lord of the mountain, the dead ancestors gave Uma to me on the condition that I would get her married with Shiva. The son born to her would kill the demons, Mahishasura and Tharakasura." At last Himalaya agreed. The Saptarishis were pleased and chose an auspicious moment for the marriage ceremony. They said, "Shiva would marry your daughter on Maitra Muhurta, the third day from today, when the moon will enter the Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra." After saying this, the Saptarishis returned to Mandar mountain and gave the good news to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva became pleased, and worshipped the Saptarishis. The Saptarishis then went to inform all the deities about Shiva's marriage. Uma marries Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu, Brahma, the deities and the Ganas were pleased to hear about Shiva's marriage. Lord Shiva went to his abode, Kailash mountain, to make preparations for the marriage ceremony. Lord Shiva's marriage procession proceeded towards Himalaya mountain. His appearance was quite terrifying, with a tiger skin around his waist and Gorichan tilak on his forehead. He had a garland of skulls around his neck. Snakes were coiling all around his body. His mount, Vrishab, ox, was walking in a majestic way. The marriage procession comprised of the deities, yakshas, demons and his ganas. Lord Vishnu had goddess Lakshmi by his side and was mounted on Garuda, eagle, while Lord Brahma was mounted on Hans, swan. When the marriage procession reached its destination, Himalaya received his esteemed guests with great honor and guided them to his palace. The womenfolk envied Uma as they glanced at the handsome appearance of Lord Shiva. Uma was looking divinely beautiful in her white-colored silken apparel. At last, both the bride and the bridegroom entered the canopy where the marriage ceremony was supposed to be performed. Himalaya, placing Uma's hand in Shiva's, requested him to accept her as his wife. Lord Shiva said, "O King of the Mountains, despite being homeless, I agree to accept your daughter as my wife." After that, both Shiva and Uma tied the nuptial knot and circumambulated the sacred fire for 3 times. Both of them made offerings to the sacred fire. As Uma touched Shiva's feet, Lord Brahma got a chance to have a glimpse of her beautiful face. He was so infatuated by her divine beauty that he ejaculated. Nobody except Lord Shiva was aware of this incident. Lord Brahma tried to conceal his ejaculated sperms, virya, under the soil. But Lord Shiva prohibited him from doing so and said, "Don't destroy this virya. From it would manifest 80,000 Baukaliyas." Lord Shiva's prophecies came true, and in a very short time, 80,000 Baukaliyas appeared there. Lord Shiva then returned to Mandapavit accompanied by his consort, Uma. Vishwakarma constructs a palace. After reaching Mandar mountain, Lord Shiva instructed Vishwakarma to construct a home. Vishwakarma constructed a spacious home for Shiva, which was spread in the area of 64 yojans. The home was decorated with swastika symbols and its walls were made of gold. One day, Lord Shiva jokingly referred to Uma as Kali because of her dark complexion. But Uma did not take his comments lightly and told Shiva that she was going to the Himalayas to do her penance so that he did not dare to call her by that name again. Thus, Uma went to Himalaya mountain and commenced her penance. Standing on 1 foot, she engaged herself in severe penance. One day, a lion arrived and seeing Uma standing on 1 foot, waited patiently for the moment when she would lose her balance and fall into its clutches. Uma continued with her penance for 100 years by continuously chanting the sacred Brahma mantra. Pleased by her devotion, Lord Brahma appeared before her and asked what she wished for. Uma first of all requested him to bless the lion with immense power. She then requested him to bless her with a golden complexion. Lord Brahma blessed her and disappeared. She abandoned her dark-complexioned skin from which manifested Kaushiki. Now, her complexion turned golden due to Lord Brahma's blessings. Indra appeared before her and sought her permission to take Kaushiki along with him. Uma gave her consent without any hesitation. Indra took Kaushiki to Vindhya mountain and requested her to stay there. He said, "You would become famous as Vindhyavasini and would be revered even by the deities." He presented a lion to her and went back to his abode. On the other hand, Uma returned to Mandar mountain and lived happily. Lord Shiva became so deeply attached to her that he forgot about his duties, and as a result of which, the whole world became disturbed. The deities became scared by this development and went to seek Lord Brahma's advice. Lord Brahma went to Mandar mountain accompanied by all the deities. They tried to enter Shiva's abode, but Nandi, Shiva's mount, did not let them in. Helpless, all of them waited eagerly for the time Shiva would come out. Agni, seeing rows of swans coming out from Shiva's abode, disguised himself as a swan and thus managed to get inside. He went near Lord Shiva and said, "O Lord, the deities are anxiously waiting for you outside. How come you are not aware of this?" Lord Shiva immediately got up and ran towards the deities. Indra and other deities were scared at the prospect of losing heaven to Lord Shiva's progeny. So, they requested Lord Shiva not to procreate any child from Uma. Lord Shiva agreed but asked them as to who was capable of holding his outflowing sperms. Agni came forward and swallowed each drop of Shiva's sperm. Satisfied, the deities left. Lord Shiva went inside and told everything to Uma. She became furious and cursed the deities that they too would remain sons just like her. One day before taking her bath, Uma applied yugtan, mixture of sandalwood, turmeric etc., on her body. She then peeled off the paste from her body and made an elephant-headed image from it. Malini, her companion, assisted her in taking bath. Malini was smiling all the while as Uma was taking her bath. Uma became curious and wanted to know the reason of her strange smile. Malini told Uma about her firm belief that one day, she, Uma, would definitely become a mother. Uma told her that this was impossible as the deities had prohibited her husband, Shiva, from procreating a child. But Malini continued to smile. After taking her bath, Uma went back home. After some time, Lord Shiva arrived and took his bath at the same place. The elephant-headed image created by Uma was lying there. Suddenly it became alive and started making a hissing sound from his trunk. Lord Shiva delightfully took him to Uma and said, "Look at your son." Uma was surprised to see that elephant-headed image alive and affectionately embraced him. Lord Shiva again said, "Your son will become famous as Vinayak and the whole world would worship him." Lord Shiva then entrusted the task of child security to Garuda. Thus, both Lord Shiva and Uma lived happily. The same Uma later on took incarnation as goddess Katyayani and killed the demons, Shumba and Nishumba. Killing of Nishumba and Shumba. Shumba and Nishumba were sons of Danu. They wanted to avenge Mahishasura's death and sent many demons like to bring goddess Chandika after enslaving her. First of all, Sugriva was sent followed by Dhumralochan, but both of them were killed by the goddess. When Shumba and Nishumba heard of their death, they were infuriated. Nishumba attacked the goddess with a huge army. Shumba attacked from the other side. In the fierce battle, goddess Chandika broke Nishumba's sword as well as his shield. Nishumba then attacked goddess Chandika with his weapon, Shakti. Goddess Chandika broke it with her chakra. At last, she attacked him with her arrows at him, and as a result, Nishumba got injured and fell. When Shumba saw Nishumba, injured and unconscious, he ran towards goddess Chandika to kill her. Goddess Chandika blew her conch and made a thunderous noise by pulling the bowstring. Shumba released the dangerous weapon, Ugradipti, in the direction of goddess Chandika. But her weapon Mahalkanami destroyed it. Shumba thundered loudly and attacked goddess Chandika with a volley of arrows, but none could cause any harm to her. Finally, goddess Chandika attacked Shumba with her trident. Shumba fell down unconscious. After some time, he regained his consciousness and attacked goddess Chandika with his arrows. But she destroyed all the arrows. In the meantime, Nishumba had regained his consciousness. He got up and attacked goddess Chandika with his trident. In the end, goddess Chandika killed Nishumba by piercing her trident in his heart. As Nishumba was dying, another demon manifested from his body. Even he was killed by her. Hermantsima devoured all the dead demons. Shumba became angry at the death of his brother Nishumba. He furiously told the goddess, "O wicked lady! Do not be proud of your strength borrowed from others. Goddess Chandika replied, O wicked demon! I am the only power of this whole universe. I am the origin of cause and effect. Look! All the divinities are entering into my body. The next moment, all the divine entities, which had earlier manifested from the bodies of the deities, united with the goddess. Now, the goddess was alone. A tremendous battle was fought between goddess Chandika and Shambh. Ambika attacked him with numerous divine weapons. But, Shambh neutralized her attack with his own weapons. Shambh covered the whole body of goddess Chandika with his arrows. She broke his bow. After this, Shambh attacked her with his weapon, Shakti, which was broken into pieces by her chakra. Now, Shambh took out his sword and attacked her with it. She broke his shield and sword with her arrows. Shambh then attacked her with his mace. Even his mace was broken into pieces. Shambh had no more weapons left with him. He hit the goddess on her breast with his clenched fist. She slapped him so hard on the face that he fell down. The next moment, he got up and manifested himself in the sky. Now, a tremendous duel was fought between them in the sky. In the end, she dashed him to the ground and pierced the trident in his heart. Shambh was instantly killed. After the killing of Shambh, Gandharvas, the deities and Apsaras were so pleased that they danced and rejoiced. The whole atmosphere echoed with the sound, Shanti Shanti, let there be peace. After goddess Chandika killed Shambh, all the deities under the leadership of Indra and Agni started eulogizing her. O goddess! Be pleased upon us. Protect the whole world, as you are the goddess of this whole universe. You appear in the form of this earth, the base on which everything is situated. Your light illuminates all the living creatures. You are the only power through which creation, nurturing and annihilation takes place. You are the Brahmani, Maheshwari and the Kumari. We salute you because you have protected us from the terror of the demons. We need your protection from all the calamities of this world. Goddess Chandika was very pleased by their eulogy. She asked them for any wish. The deities said, O Akileshwari, we need your protection. Clear all the obstacles from our path. Eliminate our enemies. Goddess Chandika replied, during Vaivasvat Manvantara, I will take incarnation from Yashoda's womb, the wife of Nand, to kill the demons Shambh and Nishambh. After that, I will kill the demon Vaparashit in my most aggressive form. 100 years later, I will manifest myself and would be known as Satakshi because of my 100 eyes. My next incarnation would be known as Shakambari because I would nurture the whole world during the period of drought. I will kill the demon Dugam during the drought period. I will kill the demon Arun, the tormentor of all the three worlds, by taking the form of a bee. Due to this, I will be known as Brahmari. I will take incarnations every time the demons torment the world. Goddess Chandika says, I will clear all the obstacles from the path of such a man who worships me. If a devotee listens to the great tales of how I killed Mahishasura, Shambh, and Nishambh, on the 8th, 9th and 14th days of any month, then he would be liberated from poverty and all his sins. He would become free from fear. A devotee must listen to my divine tales during all the religious ceremonies like making sacrifice, worship and performing yajna. By doing this, all his enemies will be eliminated. A man who remembers me when faced with dangerous situations remains protected by me. After blessing the deities, Goddess Chandika disappeared from their sight. All the demons, who had survived after the killings of Shambh and Nishambh, went to the netherworld to save their lives. Birth of Kartikeya. swallowing of Lord Shiva's sperm had subdued Agni's radiance. The deities advised him to take Lord Brahma's help. While he was on his way to Brahmaloka, he came across a river named Kutla and requested her to hold Shiva's sperm. She agreed and requested him to release it in her waters. In course of time, she became pregnant. The thought of giving birth to an illegitimate child tormented her, so she went to Lord Brahma to take his advice. Lord Brahma instructed her to abort her fetus at Ujjakal mountain, which was covered by the dense forest of reed. Lord Brahma felt that it was a very safe place for her and nobody will be aware of this incident. Kutla followed his instructions. Kutla aborted her fetus just according to Lord Brahma's instructions. The fetus remained there for 10,000 years, after which a child was born, radiant like a rising sun and eyes like the petals of lotus flower. The child, being hungry, started to cry. At that time, all the 6 Kritikas were passing through that forest. They were so mesmerized by the child's beauty that they started quarreling among themselves as to who should first feed breast milk to the child. Seeing their quarrel, the child appeared with his 6 heads. This way, all the 6 Kritikas fed their breast milk to the child at a time. This is the reason why Kartikeya has 6 heads. After Agni came to know of Kartikeya's birth, he proceeded to bring him back home. But Kutla saw him on the way and inquired about his journey. When Agni revealed his intention, she started quarreling with him for Kartikeya's custody. Meanwhile, Lord Vishnu arrived there and inquired regarding their quarreling. Lord Vishnu, after being told the reason, advised them to take Lord Shiva's help as he was the best judge on such matters. Both Kutla and Agni went to Lord Shiva and tried to get his consent. Uma advised Lord Shiva by saying, "All of us must go to that place where the child is living and try to know as to whom he would like to have as his guardian." All of them went to that reed forest and found Kartikeya in the lap of one of the Kritikas. Kartikeya knew about their desires. Seeing them worried, he manifested in 4 different appearances of Kumas, Vishak, Shak, and Mahesan. Kuma went towards Lord Shiva while Vishak went towards Zuma. Similarly, Shak went towards Kutla while Mahesan went towards Agni. Thus, everybody was satisfied. Lord Shiva then blessed the Kritikas by saying that Kartikeya would become famous, deriving his name from them. All the deities arrived there and decided to make Kartikeya the chief commander of their army. Kartikeya kills Tharaka and Mahishasura. After being appointed as the chief commander of the deities, Kartikeya sought his guardian's permission to kill the demons, Tharaka and Mahishasura. All the deities including Lord Vishnu blessed Kartikeya and wished for his victory. Lord Vishnu eulogized Kartikeya and praised his valiance. Kartikeya then proceeded with a huge army comprising of Ganas and Kritikas. Kartikeya had taken an aerial route so that he could reach his enemy's territory as soon as possible. The Ganas, disguised as birds, followed him. As they were about to reach their enemy's place, Kartikeya requested the Ganas to descend to the earth. The Ganas followed his instruction and descended to the earth, making a thunderous noise. Some demons like Mahish, Tharaka, Virajan, Jamb and Kajamb heard this noise and went to Andak to inform him about it. As the demons were trying to find out the cause of the noise, a demon, Patorkitu, arrived there in an injured condition. The demons were surprised and asked how he got injured. Patorkitu, narrating the incident, said, "I had entered Sage Galuf's hermitage in the guise of a boar with the intention of killing him. Suddenly, an arrow pierced my body. I ran towards the sea coast to save my life, where I found large number of people who were planning to kill Mahishasura and Tharaka. I have come here to inform you about their plan. I am very scared and worried." Andak assured them that there was nothing to worry about, as both Mahishasura and Tharaka were mighty and it was not an easy task for anybody to kill them. When Mahishasura and Tharaka came to know about this, they immediately set out with a huge army towards the sea coast. An intense battle commenced in which both the sides fought valiantly. The Ganas and the Matrikas launched a severe attack on the enemy with all the weapons they had at their disposal. But the demons remained unaffected and their assault was too much for the Ganas to bear. After defeating the Ganas, Mahishasura menacingly ran towards Kartikeya. Satyakraksh, who was fighting from Kartikeya's side, unleashed his chakra to stop Mahishasura. Mahishasura retaliated by attacking the chakra with his mace, but his mace was cut into pieces by the chakra. After destroying the mace, Satyakraksh's chakra chased Mahishasura. When Banasura saw Mahishasura's life in danger, he came forward to help him. He attacked the chakra with his 500 hands and grabbed Satyakraksh with the remaining 500. Seeing Satyakraksh in danger, Makaraksh hit Banasura on his head with his mace. Seething in pain, Banasura immediately released Satyakraksh. Seeing his army defeated, Tharaka came forward to fight with a sword. He fought valiantly and defeated the Ganas and the Matrikas in a very short time. The defeated Ganas took the refuge of Kartikeya. When Kartikeya saw Tharaka chasing the Ganas, he killed him with his weapon, Shakti. Tharaka's death scared Mahishasura and Banasura. To save his life, Mahishasura ran away towards Himalaya mountain while Banasura hid himself in the ocean. Kartikeya chased Mahishasura, as a result of which, he was forced to abandon Himalaya. Mahishasura now took refuge in a cave of the Crouch Mountain. Seeing the demon being protected by his maternal cousin, cave, Kartikeya was in a dilemma. He knew that if he attacked Mahishasura inside the cave, then his cousin, might get hurt. He waited for Mahishasura to come out. Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu and Lord Mahesh appeared and advised Kartikeya to kill the demon. Indra too advised him the same. But Kartikeya did not pay heed and told them that he would kill Mahishasura only after he came out from the cave. Furious, Indra told Kartikeya that a man did not become a sinner if he killed one person to safeguard his community's interest. Giving his own instance, he narrated as to how he had killed his own brother, Namachi. But Kartikeya was not convinced and refused to act according to Indra's instruction. Very soon, their arguments turned into a major dispute when Indra boasted of his strength. Kartikeya challenged him for a duel. Indra proposed a plan according to which, whoever circumambulated the Crouch Mountain first would be considered as the winner. When Kartikeya returned after circumambulating Crouch Mountain, he found Indra sitting there. Furiously, he asked Indra why he was seated. Indra replied that he was the winner as he had already finished circumambulating the Crouch. Both of them quarreled but were not able to decide the winner. So, both of them went to Lord Vishnu and Brahma to take their help. Lord Vishnu advised them that only Crouch Mountain could decide the winner. Both of them went to Crouch Mountain and requested him to tell as to who the winner was. Crouch Mountain said, "Indra is the winner since he was the first to circumambulate me." Kartikeya became furious and attacked Crouch Mountain with his Shakti, as a result of which, the great mountain was fragmented into pieces. Mahishasura, who was hiding in the cave of Crouch Mountain, was also crushed to death. Later on, Kartikeya felt very sorry for having killed his maternal cousin, and after being advised by Lord Vishnu, he went to Prithvidatta to atone for his sin.